There's a crisis that's happening in our world right now. There's a crisis around good quality contributions because of AI. Most of the greatest software ever built, Linux, Ethereum, React, it was all built by open source contributors and people volunteering their time, their expertise, their attention. This kind of model worked for decades, but something's changed, and we're now living the AI generated slop age. And the volume of contributions pouring into these open source uh, projects is like higher than it's ever been, but the quality has been kind of going the opposite way. Um, the paradigm has shifted, so the ability to really create code is no longer really scarce. Any agent like Copilot, any beginner can kind of create like a PR. But what is scarce now is the ability to understand, to kind of review and think really critically about whether this contribution makes this software better as a whole. Um, these good contributions have become more valuable than ever. I think they've really become more valuable to the point where it's really worth it to kind of compensate people for that. But there was previously no way to reward that. And people who have to review all of this, the maintainers, they're drowning. So the price of good contributions has gone up, right? Execution is cheap, right? Good software is priceless still, and we need a system that recognizes that. That we need a system that rewards quality and filters noise at scale, and that's what ContribOS does. It's an autonomous system where AI agents review open source pull requests and pay contributors via X402 micropayments on the Kite AI chain. So there are no grants, no invoices, no manual payouts, just code review and pay every time on chain, real transactions. Um, and as you can see here, we have this kind of running already. Um, so these people are contributors, Alice, Bob, and Carol, and they have their wallets connected, and there's also an agent reviewer as well. All these people are pushing out real PRs. As you can see, they're pushing out real PRs. This is all kind of being pulled from the OG Foundation's GitHub and stuff. But yeah, all these are like, these are just being replayed, but these are actually all like real commits and stuff. But these are like, the PRs are being put into all these numerous repos in the Zero G Foundation. So yeah, as you can see, the agent reviewer is reviewing these PRs, and then after being reviewed, it pays some of these contributors more for their contributions and less for some of their contributions, etc. And you can see an earnings distribution and also the recent transactions for all of these. The agent reviewer basically verifies the SDK samples against some of like their API, as you can see here. Um, there's a bunch of other things that it's been doing, like reviewing and stuff. All these transactions are also real. So whenever they're getting paid out, we can see here on the test net. That's always, obviously test net, but the transaction is real, and we're being able to pay out these contributors. And these are actually weighted to their contributions as per like the AI agent's guidance. So the flow is basically that the AI agent discovers the API, makes a request, server responds with a 402 payment required, and it's not a 401, not a 403, but a 402. And this is a status code that's existed since the beginning of HTTP, but was never really used. And Coinbase built the X402 protocol to give it meaning. Um, so the agent gets to the 402, sees a price, 10 cents for a code review, etc., and it sends a real transaction on Kite's AI chain, gets a transaction hash, and then retries a request with that hash as a proof of payment. And the server serves the response after verifying it, and then broadcasts the payment to the dashboard. And the whole thing is autonomous. The agent doesn't need an API key, doesn't need a subscription, just needs Kite tokens and this protocol. And there it goes. So this is kind of the broad flow of things. And yeah, thank you.